Have you ever thought about what makes quiet people so strong? In today's noisy, high-stress world, quiet people stand out with their calm demeanor and ability to handle life's difficulties. The unique qualities of quiet people are not only admirable, but they also show a deep and unique way of life, especially from the point of view of Stoicism. According to Stoicism, quiet people are not marked by melancholy or blind optimism, but by their ability to see the world clearly and stay true to themselves. They don't get caught up in life's ups and downs. Instead, they seek inner calm and patience. Quiet people tend to be very private, keeping most of their thoughts and feelings to themselves. They also spend more time listening than talking, which some people might find strange. Quiet people see the world differently, which is what makes them interesting and unique. Let's look at 10 amazing things about quiet people through the lens of Stoicism and find out why they are so great and unique. If you're a quiet person, you might even find your inner strength. Before we start, don't forget to click the like button, leave a comment below, and we'll keep talking about it. Let's begin. Number 1, words with gras in today's fast-paced world, where talks often sound like fights for airtime. It's very important to choose your words carefully. Many people speak without thinking about the impact or accuracy of what they're saying. On the other hand, people who are naturally quiet often take a step back and give themselves time to reflect before joining a conversation, unlike many others who might talk nonstop about unimportant or irrelevant things. These reserved souls think carefully about what they say, and when they do, their contributions are not only heard but also felt. Their words tend to have a special weight to them, which is similar to the Stoic idea of saying only what is necessary and true. For example, imagine a round-table discussion where everyone is eager to give their opinion. When a quiet person who has been listening carefully finally speaks, the room often quiets down. It's like their words have been sifted through a sieve of reason and restraint. This selective way of talking to others not only earns respect from their peers, but also gives the speaker more confidence. People start to understand and value the quiet one's insights when they know that when they speak up, it's because they have something important to say. It takes a lot of inner strength and discipline to control your speech so carefully, but for the quiet ones, it's almost second nature. They embody the Stoic virtue of restraint, showing time and time again that sometimes the most powerful statements are the ones that aren't said out loud. Adopting this Stoic way of communicating doesn't mean changing who you are. It means realizing the power of words and choosing them with intention. It's a rammer that in a world that can't stop talking, there is great strength in silence and great impact in speaking only when you have something to say. For some people, silence is their superpower. Does the thought of silence make you feel uneasy? You're not the only one who finds silence uncomfortable. Whether they're alone or with a group, many people try to avoid the discomfort by filling the silence with background noise like music or TV. For people who are more introverted, silence isn't just bearable, it's where their power lies. If you lean toward introversion, you may already know this. Beautiful stories that fit the quiet personalities of people. Stoicism teaches us the value of inner peace and self-reflection, and it encourages us to be happy with ourselves instead of with what's going on around us. Stoics find the focus and strength they need to deal with life's problems in silence. These peaceful times, people who are quiet often think deeply about their long-term goals and life choices. They ask themselves if they are truly living in line with their values, or if they need to make changes. These self-reflections may seem simple, but they are deep acts of mental and emotional alignment that many extroverts might not understand. People who like silence may feel like they have superpowers when they can sit with their thoughts in the midst of all the noise and chatter. It helps them become stronger, focus on what's important, and go into life with a clear head. So the next time you find yourself in a quiet moment, try to resist the urge to fill it right away. Instead, see it as a chance to channel your inner Stoic and let your thoughts organize themselves without any interruptions. Remember that silence is more than just the lack of noise. If you let wisdom grow, you might find the quiet strength that has been there all along. Number 3, maturity beyond their years. Have you ever noticed that the quietest people in a room often have an aura that seems to come from someone much older than them? It's interesting, isn't it, because these people have lived the same number of years as everyone else but exude a remarkable patience and a D. When people are feeling a lot of emotions at once, quiet people stand out because they take the time to think about their choices with a clear head. For example, imagine someone at a loud party who is tempted to drink too much but instead chooses to have meaningful conversations, or maybe decides it's best to leave early and rest. These choices may seem small, but they show a deep understanding of self-control and long-term goals. This thoughtful method shows up in their personal goals, relationships, and jobs as well. People who are quiet often seem more stable, not because they aren't emotional, but because they deal with their feelings in a way that supports their long-term goals. They know what they're doing and why, which keeps them steady even when things are going badly. Quiet people not only show maturity, but they also have confidence and discipline that come from having a strong sense of who they are. They are the Stoic ideal that the noise outside doesn't really define us, it's how we react to it inside. Their strength comes from being quiet, a strong warning that sometimes the quietest words say the most. Number 4. Reading people. Have you ever thought about why people do the things they do? While this is hard for some people, understanding others seems to come easily to those who are more quiet. How do they do it? They can do that not because they have a special superpower, but because they have spent a lifetime observing people carefully and have a strong intuition that lets them know when someone's mood or body language changes, even if it's only a little. People who are quiet are great at reading people. They can figure out how someone is feeling or what they're thinking by picking up on small things that other people might miss. It's not about having special skills, because they're always looking for hints about what makes people tick. They need to pay close attention. Because they can see what people aren't saying, they have a kind of insider knowledge about how people act, which lets them guess how someone will react or what they might decide next. Stoicism is an ancient theory that stresses self-control and rational understanding. This skill is closely linked to its ideas. Stoics believe that we should calmly observe the world and learn from it. Quiet people live this philosophy every day. By watching quietly, they learn about human nature and how to put together the complicated puzzle of feelings and actions that make us who we are. Let's bring this idea to life with some examples. Think about teachers who seem to know exactly what a student is upset about, even though the student hasn't said a word. Or think about friends who always know when to give you advice or just sit next to you in silence. These people may not be loud or outwardly expressive, but they have a deep understanding of how people feel. For example, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote, "Those who are quiet remind us that there is a lot of strength and wisdom in being still and observing." By focusing on the quiet side of life, we can learn more about others, make better choices, and live fuller, more connected lives. This is the quiet power, a real superpower in its own right. 5. The quietest voices in the room often hold the deepest wisdom, but their brilliance is often hidden. People with a Stoic essence may not express themselves openly, but they are always observing, absorbing, and thinking about the world around them. For example, picture sitting in a busy cafe or walking through a lively park while other people are talking loudly. The quiet person is tuned into the subtleties and is listening to the melody of life unfolding around them. Whether they are socializing with friends or sitting through lectures, they are always learning and understanding more. This constant enrichment deepens their insights and shapes them into knowledge reservoirs. If you naturally prefer silence, you might find that your path to knowledge is less about speaking up and more about tuning in. People often think that someone is quiet because they don't have an opinion, thought, or backbone, but they're often surprised when a quiet person makes a point with precision and depth, revealing a well of knowledge and insight that had been hidden from view. It's a classic case of still waters running deep, where the peace hides a lively inner life full of ongoing intellectual and emotional exploration. There are many examples of quiet people who have made big changes in the world, from the contemplative wisdom of philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, who stressed the importance of inner freedom and self-mastery, to the power and potential of introverts, emphasized by modern thinkers like Susan Cain. The story is clear. Their lives and works show how solitude and reflection can give people a unique clarity and depth of understanding that helps them make important contributions to their fields and to society as a whole. So, if you ever feel like people don't respect your quiet personality, remember that your quiet observations and thoughtful approach give you a unique perspective. In the Stoic tradition, it's not the loudness of our words that matter, but the truth and power they carry. Your voice is rare but resonant. In accepting your inner Stoic, your quiet strength is a strong force that can move and inspire people in ways that loud certainty could never do. You believe in a way of life that puts substance over noise and depth over display. This is a truly brilliant way to live and connect with the world around you. Unstoppable productivity. Have you ever noticed that the quietest people around you are often the ones who get the most done? These people have a strength that comes from following Stoic principles. When it comes to self-discipline, inner calm, and the ability to focus intensely on the task at hand, quiet people don't just work hard. They throw themselves into every project and often go above and beyond what's expected without being asked. For example, think about the great Stoic thinkers Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. Not only were these people famous for their philosophical ideas, but also for how they used Stoicism in their daily lives, showing that they were very productive and good at their jobs. Today's quiet people show similar traits. They thrive on the philosophy of less talk, more action, and their results speak for themselves. Also, quiet people have their own way of getting things done, while most of us depend on outside factors like the pressure of deadlines or the supervision of coworkers. Quiet people get their drive from within. They are self-directed individuals who don't need much help to handle their tasks. Stoic practice, which focuses on self-control and personal responsibility, is based on this natural ability to control oneself. If you let a quiet person work in their own way, you'll see something amazing. They don't need constant supervision or a long list of rules. Instead, they use their passions and discipline to get the most done, often by coming up with new ideas and finding new ways to succeed that other people might miss. Number 7. Impactful leaders. When we think of leaders, we usually picture them as outgoing and charismatic, grabbing people's attention with their words and presence. But it's important to remember that leadership also thrives in silence and reflection. Quiet people, who are often overlooked, have a unique kind of leadership that is deeply rooted in the principles of Stoicism. Some of the most important leaders in history were known for being quiet. Abraham Lincoln, for example, was known for being quiet. He spent a lot of time listening instead of talking, which gave him a stoic calmness and patience that became his trademark. This quietness wasn't just a personal trait, it was also a way for Lincoln to lead. By listening more than talking, Lincoln was able to deeply understand different points of view, which helped him solve problems and handle difficult situations well. Why does this technique work? Stoicism teaches people how important it is to control their feelings and stay calm no matter what is going on around them. Leaders like Lincoln show that the person who is quietest in a room is often the one who sees and knows the most, and therefore leads the best. They use the power of silence to get different points of view and come to an agreement while staying calm and thoughtful. People usually think that the biggest person in the room is the most important, but Stoic leaders don't believe that. They believe that everyone has a story worth hearing, and by doing that, they learn things that the loudest people miss. It's not passive. These leaders are actively involved in a deeper level of communication that involves observing, processing, and then acting in a way that is thoughtful and has an impact. Remember that strength doesn't always come from loud statements. Sometimes it comes from the quiet resolve to stay steady and responsive to the world around you. Let's value and grow this quieter form of leadership, knowing that it's sometimes the most powerful thing a leader can do. Think about a tense work meeting or a family emergency. People around them may start to worry, get irritated, or even panic, but it's usually the quietest person in the room who stays calm. Why is it that these people focus on crafting solutions instead of making problems worse? It's hard to say for sure why, but let's look at a few options. There is a theory that quiet people have been dealing with subtle pressures all their lives. like how to be heard in a noisy world, or how to make their inner thoughts match up with the outside world. Each of these situations requires a certain amount of strength and resilience, which helps them stay calm. Under pressure. Another assumption could be that quiet people tend to watch more than they speak. This habit of watching gives them time to think about and process more information, giving them the chance to come up with well-thought-out answers. Like a Stoic philosopher, they might see life's ups and downs as something to be dealt with by being wise and patient, instead of reacting quickly. No matter what the real reasons are, if everything seems to be falling apart, having a quiet person nearby could be the best thing that happens. Their strength lies in being able to stay away from the chaos, make calm decisions, and be a rock of stability for others. To all the quiet people out there, know that your calm is not just a personal trait, but a powerful gift to those around you and to everyone else the next time you're in a high-pressure situation. Take a deep breath, tune out the noise, and focus on the way to a solution. Your inner Stoic might be just what you need to calm down. 9 epiphanies that happen every day. If you're a quiet person, you probably spend a lot of time thinking about your life's path, the people you've met, and the beliefs that shape your view of the world. You carefully consider your personal biases and misconceptions, working hard to find parts of yourself that are hidden from the public eye. Why do you do this so well? These quiet times to think about yourself aren't just breaks in your day, they're chances to learn a lot about yourself. These are the times when you might suddenly fall apart. Important things you learned about yourself. Let's call these moments everyday epiphanies. For example, you might realize that your calm demeanor, which some might mistake for detachment, actually helps you listen and empathize more deeply than most. Or you might realize that something you once saw as a weakness is actually a big strength in a world that values noise over substance. These realizations help you learn more about yourself and improve your relationship with yourself in a big way. By adopting a Stoic attitude, you learn to accept life's difficulties and enjoy the process of finding these truths. It's not always clear or easy to figure out why things happen the way they do in life, especially for people who are more quiet. But in Stoicism, there is a deep respect for facing life's puzzles with the courage and calmness that you naturally have. So if you ever feel like you're not taken seriously because you're quiet, remember that your reflective thought is a powerful tool that, when used wisely, can lead to your path may be quieter than others, but it's full of opportunities for deep, valuable insights that are lost in noisy places. Number 10. Important relationships. Are you wondering what kind of friends and partners would be best for someone who is naturally quiet? If you're a quiet person or know someone who is, you'll know that they tend to be very picky about the people they hang out with. They don't like shallow, short-lived interactions. Instead, they value deep, meaningful connections far more than anything else. Simply, having a large group of friends or the largest social network for people who like to be alone and think, for us, quality is more important than number. They value the few people in their lives who they can be completely honest with. In these relationships, they are open and honest about their deepest feelings and secrets, and they have deep, meaningful conversations that build trust, that won't just last a moment but will last a lifetime. Building these kinds of relationships takes a lot of work and dedication, 2 traits that quiet people have in spades. When it comes to relationships, they listen carefully and ask deep, probing questions that get to the heart of things. This helps them understand others on a deeply personal level. Quiet people are also trustworthy. They keep their promises and are there when it matters. Whether you're dating or just hanging out with a quiet person, be ready for a connection that might start out slow, but will get stronger over time. They might not be the most outgoing, but their loyalty and depth make them some of the best friends and partners you could hope to have. When it comes to relationships, they focus on the Stoic ideals of authenticity, depth, and real engagement, which are what make relationships truly valuable. Let's go deeper and summarize the most important things we've learned from our exploration so far. In today's fast-paced and often overwhelming world, introverted people aren't just calm figures. They live by a deep theory of life, based on Stoic principles. Introversion is more than just something to admire. It's a powerful symbol of the deep inner strength and unwavering resilience that help people get through life's rough waters. Stoicism, which is known for focusing on endurance and resilience, gives us a way to understand what introversion is all about. Contrary to the idea that introverts are always sad or overly optimistic, they have the unique ability to keep a clear-eyed view of the world, unclouded by passing feelings or sudden changes, instead of being swept away by chaos in the outside world. Introverts work on staying calm and patient inside, which helps them stay anchored when life gets rough. What really makes introverts unique is their amazing ability to accept the things they can't change about life, while focusing their energy on the things they can. This intentional approach not only protects them from needless worry, but it also helps them live meaningful lives and grow as people by keeping their minds off of small, unimportant issues. In essence, introverts build a strong wall against life's problems, showing a powerful example of endurance and self-mastery. Being introverted is not a weakness. It's a deep strength that shows how strong the human spirit is. It shows that people can find peace in the middle of chaos and do well in tough situations by following the Stoic principles of inner peace and acceptance. Introverts show us how to live a life with meaning, resilience, and deep satisfaction. Now it's your turn to think about the quiet people in your life. You may have met them at work, in school, or among your own friends and family. Take a moment to appreciate the depth of their character, the strength of their resilience, and the wisdom of their introspection. Or maybe you found similarities with the qualities of quiet people. You too have a deep-seated resilience and a desire for inner tranquility amidst life's chaos. Take a moment to think. Are you one of those quiet people who has a deep inner strength that stays strong in the face of hardship? Do you find comfort in the wisdom of Stoic principles that guide your path to a life of purpose and resilience? As you go through your own journey, remember that introversion is not a weakness but a powerful asset that makes you resilient, self-control, and deep mental peace. Dare to live a life that reflects your deepest values and goals. Before you leave, I encourage you to take a moment to interact with our community. If you found today's discussion useful, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more educational videos on Stoicism and personal growth. Thanks for your support. It not only helps us grow, but it also lets us keep giving you and other people like you useful information. Also, please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Let's make a place for people to talk about their